What started off as an extreme challenge nearly ended up in a life-threatening situation. Here's our story of how things nearly went very bad. We started the long walk of 170 kilometers from Palestine Street in Belfast back to the Islamic Centre in Dublin, in aid of our brothers and sisters in Palestine. To say the least, it has been a long journey that pushed everyone to their limits and beyond. So here's how it went. All 14 of us took the train to Belfast and began our journey from Palestine Street all the way to Dublin. With energies high, full of positivity and excitement, we began our journey. However, the same energy was not met by some of the people of Belfast. This is where our problems began. Whilst waving the Palestinian and Irish flag, we got many cars beeping, stopping and cursing at us. They were evidently not happy with our presence here in Belfast. We were clearly naive and stupid waving the Irish flag in a very sensitive side of Belfast, and we realised our mistakes and took the Irish flag down as soon as possible. Following this, we were stopped by the police 4 times for our protection, not because we were doing anything illegal. This is because a gang of men and cars started to follow us, and their intention was clearly not for the best, to say the least. So thankfully, the Chief Lieutenant of the Belfast Police arrived and decided to escort us to the nearest train station. We'd like to thank the Belfast Police for escorting us to the train station and taking us into their cars for our own safety, as us being there was dangerous and a risk to our safety to continue our journey, or even get a taxi unescorted alone. Apparently, the group of men had weapons and they were waiting for us to cross a street nearby, which was a few hundred meters in front of us. Thankfully, the police stopped us right in time. We do realise waving an Irish flag in a very sensitive place in Belfast was not the smartest idea. What I would like to point out here is that feeling while walking of constantly looking over your shoulders, being high alert, looking around for someone who could be a potential threat. The feeling that we felt is about 0.1% of what the Palestinians feel on a daily basis. The feeling of not being wanted in your own country, the unsafe, eerie feeling, constantly being verbally abused by people in your own land. This is what it feels like for the Palestinian people every single day for the last 60 years. The only difference is that we had police that we could rely on, that would protect us and bring us to the border safely. However, in Palestine, it is the police who are even more oppressive than the civilians, and they have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and no one to protect them. Ultimately, so being in this situation really put things into perspective for us. Once we reached the train station, we had police watching us and protecting us for 2 hours until our train was due. I think it's safe to say that all the boys were happy to see the back of Belfast and to step onto Irish soil in Dundalk once again. Once back on Irish soil, everyone's energy, positivity and excitement came back and was ready to put the negative experience behind us and continue on this journey for Palestine. The amount of positivity and support that we got immediately, from people donating to us, to cars beeping to us, to people praising us, and to people shouting "Free Palestine," the welcoming support that we got from the Irish people was truly unmatched. We continued our journey from Dundalk train station to Dundalk Mosque. We'd like to thank Dundalk Mosque for accommodating us and supporting us and for taking us in. We stayed there for the first night, and in the morning it was time to go again. The destination was Drogheda. The walk from Dundalk to Drogheda had to be the toughest one yet. The pain in the legs is literally unexplainable. It's literally your legs are both numb. The only thing that was truly pushing us to keep going was the fact that the pain we were feeling and the hostile situation we experienced in Belfast and the unwelcoming feeling was only for a short period of time. For the Palestinians, it's everlasting. It never ends. It only gets worse. And we had that relief once we knew that we were over the Irish border, we'd be safe and fine. We knew that once we got to Dublin we could relax, recover. But once again, for the Palestinians, that hope and relief is not there currently. So once again, we would like to thank the Belfast Police and apologise for any inconvenience we caused, and thanks to the Garda for welcoming us back when we were back on Irish soil. The last thing I want to do is walk 100 miles for the fun of it. I'm not that bored. You may ask yourself the question, what got you to do 100 miles? What was going through your heads? And the answer is, this unique challenge was set to grab as much attention as possible for us, to get the opportunity to spread the awareness of what's happening in Palestine, and it was a great success. From all the back roads that we took on our way back to Dublin, we met some of the very down to earth and nice people that didn't really have a lot of information of what's happening in Palestine, and they spoke to us about what's happening and they got the information that they needed. There was cars that stopped to engage in conversations with us, which was really heartwarming. During the challenge, me, Ammar and Mo, we managed to get 5 hitchhikes in one day. Totally random people that we've never met allowed us to enter their vehicle, waving the Palestinian flags and dropping us a few meters down the road. Where else can you find this hospitality? The beeping of the cars that we got during our journey is impossible to count. I can still hear the beeping noises in my head right now. I'd like to thank everyone for showing us support during this challenge. This has to be the toughest one yet. A few of the boys decided to cycle down to Dublin to join us in this challenge, so shout out to them. They have their own stories to tell. In conclusion, Thank you all for showing us support. Let's not forget the main purpose of this challenge. We've nearly reached our target, so let's try our very best to push it as much as possible. Our brothers and sisters rely on us to do the bare minimum. We had our lives at risk at one point in this challenge, so throw whatever you can in. That'd be very much appreciated. Let's not forget our brothers and sisters all over the world, not just in Palestine. Just because the spotlight is in Palestine right now, it doesn't mean that we forget about what's happening in Syria, Yemen and many other countries. Wherever you look over the world, the Muslim blood is cheap, unfortunately. Let's not forget them in our prayers, and once again, try our very best to donate, and if you can't donate, the least you could do is share this around. Thank you one final time. God bless, and we'll see you all in the next challenge.